Okay, let's talk about Dwight in Fear the Walking Dead. Now, I do have one part of this that is a spoiler, and we're going to jump into the spoiler immediately. And this is for Fear the Walking Dead and Dwight's appearance or cameo or crossover, whatever you want to call it. This confirms how he gets over there or the why, whatever. I really don't care. But if you don't want to know, you might want to back out of this particular video. But I'll tell you what, I don't really think it's a major spoiler at all. It's kind of one of those small ones, you know. Right now, we're gonna go into the spoiler for how Dwight how Dwight crosses over. Ready? All right, we'll count to three, and then you guys fast forward a few seconds. All right, 1, 2, 3. So here it is, guys. He follows notes. Okay, listen, it sounds silly, but I've written shit before where I was like, I can't tell anyone, like the artist, for example. I'm like, okay, you know what? I gotta let him read this part in the script because when you say it out loud, missing so much context, it sounds so fucking stupid. Anyway, and I feel like this, and I'm giving it the show the benefit of the doubt and the writers the benefit of the doubt because when you think about this, when you hear this without the context of seeing it in the show, it does sound mighty dumb. Now, the behind the scenes shows Dwight marking off a house, and I'm pretty sure he says, "I'm still looking for you. I'll never stop searching," something like that. But when I first heard that he follows notes, right? I was told by someone who actually saw this. This isn't speculation. I know I did the video talking about the there's no mutant walkers, like shooting down these theories, debunking the whatever demented walker we're going to get that's going to change the world of The Walking Dead. And here it's just, radioactive area with a connection to Jadis and the people that took Rick. And I still read like 50 comments where people were like, good speculation, or like good theory. And I'm thinking like, no. I'm not trying to come off as like this is my bright idea. This is coming from people who actually watched like the first 6 episodes of the season. All right, they've already seen it, So yeah, he's gonna find notes. When I was first told this, I was thinking of little memo like notepads. I just pictured Dwight showing up at some house like, Sherry, you here? I knocked on the wrong thing. I can't knock on anything because then my microphone will go crazy. It's connected to everything, but that was me pretending to knock. Sherry, you here? And then he enters the house and she leaves like a note. Everything's destroyed and decrepit, and there's one fresh little note form. In the behind the scenes, it looks like he's scraping on a wall. So apparently he goes somewhere and Sherry leaves a note. Now let's say this first initial house is somewhere that they both know. This wouldn't be the first time we saw a hint that he did this. She left him a note before, so this is shit that's taken right from the original show. But there's a big difference between them meeting up in an area where she said they should meet if they ever get separated. There's a big difference between that and then her continually moving around leaving these notes or these breadcrumbs. There's a part of the idea that I do actually like. It's the distance that gets me. That the distance trips me up. I kind of feel in my head it would have to be, you know what, Dwight, if you're even looking for me, I'm heading to my mother's or some shit in whatever state she's headed to. So then he's like, all right, he goes to her mother's. And then there's another note saying, no one's here. Why she thinks anyone would be there. And again, I'm trying to connect it to what a person would be doing. Like they would be going looking for family or something, I would imagine. Because imagine going out into the broken world and then leaving notes for people like, I'm going to go to this area that Dwight doesn't know this area. Do you leave like this? Do you carve on the drywall this hole? Yeah, go south 10 miles, take, I-65, go 25 miles. You know what I'm saying? So the note idea we'd have to see in context, but it just seems pretty ridiculous. So yeah, Dwight follows notes. That brings him to running into Morgan, which leads me to wonder, what the hell is Dwight's purpose even crossing over? And I want to shoot down the speculation that Dwight can't actually, the actor Austin Emilio can't actually act on the set of The Walking Dead because of a lawsuit. There was a stuntman who unfortunately lost his life performing one of the stunts. And to summarize, a lot of fans have speculated, and some fans come out and blatantly say this is fact, that, with no supportive evidence, that he actually can't be on the set because of the lawsuit. And I personally think that's not true. For one, he was already on the set after the lawsuit, and for number two, that would obviously apply in some way, shape, or form to the companion show. I mean, it really wouldn't make a difference. I can't think of a reason, legally speaking, why that lawsuit has anything to do with it. I think that's just a terrible coincidence. Lawsuit and then Austin Emilio crossing over. I'm not really sure what the idea was, except for to have more connective tissue. I think that is solely it. Think about it. We have Fear the Walking Dead, and they said 100% it is a companion show. It is not a spin-off. They want it to stand on its own. And then the ratings started to fall off, and it got really bad, so they decided to cross over a character, now turning it into a spin-off. I don't know how that works. It's a spin-off bastard. Anyway, so Morgan crosses over. They do a soft reboot, and now AMC kind of created this structure where you got a franchise coordinator, which is Gimple. He is pretty much overseeing the franchise as a whole, or the TV show universe. And then you have different showrunners for the shows. You got different people in charge of whatever else is going to be connecting to it, like video games or this, that, and the third, depending on what they're coming out with in the future. We already know that they got the Rick movies. They already got a third spin-off coming. Well, it would be a second spin-off. It'd be the third show. But you have Morgan crossover to help boost the ratings, but that's not enough. So now you have Dwight crossing over, but also at the same time, you have this group that took Rick, dropping hints about Rick. Fans are going to be checking it out to see what's going on with Rick and to see how much is going to be revealed. So it really looks like there's a heavy focus on what can we do to connect this to the main show, to bring in viewers, almost as much as the focus is on the actual show itself. I'm willing to give it a shot to see how it turns out. In a way, as a fan, I kind of just feel like it's a cheap trick. However, we'll see how it plays out. Maybe there is a greater purpose here where a light bulb went off and it was like, oh my god, this is actually a really good idea. We can move these players around, have players that are intertwined, because we've already gotten a hint that some contracts are going to bleed over. They're already putting people in position to bleed over into the other shows, to cameo. For example, Daryl and Carol, we know that for a fact. Their new contract, Daryl can just pop over into Fear the Walking Dead. He can just pop over into the Rick movies, and they don't have to renegotiate contracts and everything like that. And I think the idea, looking at it business-wise, is a safety net and a security. If the main show is drawing in the biggest numbers, then yes, obviously the more connective tissue you have to the main show and to all the other projects, the more likely you're capitalizing on that franchise. And it makes sense if you look back at when they originally decided to start Fear, and they figured the Walking Dead name itself was big enough to do a whole new group of characters, a whole different area that is not connected in any way, shape, or form to the main show. And it did not reach the numbers, not even close, that they wanted to. Again, this is speculation, but it seems like now they sat back and rethought everything out, and moving forward, there's going to be more connective tissues, not just between Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead, but all of them. As of right now, I'm convinced even the third one, the third show, will have some type of connective tissues. I don't see them taking that leap again with all new cast and all new this. They might. I think it would be smart for them to do that if they do the right story. Again, I'm talking about taking that leap with all new characters in an all new location. I really think they can have another, boost. Zombie fans are there. They are waiting like zombies to just tear into the flesh of the cinematic embodiment of great stories in the world of a zombie apocalypse. They are there, and this is proven throughout cinematic history. No matter how many people try to say, oh, there's too many zombie stuff, the zombie genre is dead, that's not the case. Zombie fans come out in full force when there's something to devour. And when the food gets scarce, they slink back to wherever they came from. And then when something else comes out that's just as amazing and it is fresh flesh, they will come out in full force again. We've seen it time and time again, and it's not going to change. Zombie fans are zombie fans, and they want zombie content, but it has to be good. And now that we got The Walking Dead, especially at that time in entertainment history, it was the perfect time. It changed everything, and I think AMC needs to realize that. If I don't shut up now, I'm going to keep on going, so put your thoughts and opinions down in that comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn.